I was thinking what is worth sharing. And among many things that we share, I think one thing that is common for all of us as leaders is in our business, we are often asked to look for the bend in the road ahead. Sometimes 3 months ahead, sometimes 3 years ahead. But we have to prepare our organizations for it. And if we fail to negotiate that curve, you go off the track. So I am intimately familiar with this disruption that I thought I'll share with you. This disruption in next 5 years would pose an existential threat to almost all of you. So thought would be good to share that and make you aware of it. This disruption will change the very definition of work as we know it. It will change the jobs our children would be doing, and it will change, as I said, how we will lead our companies in the next 5 years. And that disruption is digital workforce. It will automate 110 million to 150 million people worth of jobs in the next 9 years. This is the size of the current working population of the United States. So not only it will impact businesses, it will impact countries. It is huge. You might think that it sounds like automation. And we have heard of automation before. Automation is not new. That's fair. But when we think of automation, we think of old kind of an automation. Factory floors and robot making cars and things like that. This is entirely different. Think how we all think of work today. In any one of our, any industry, we think about things, then we do something about it, then we analyze it, what we have done, and then we drink coffee. That's how we define work. Yeah? Now, the modern technologies are fundamentally augmenting these functions. So we have to think what a work should be. The new cognitive and artificial intelligence technologies are thinking with us. RPA technology, that stands for robotic process automation. It can simulate human behavior on a computer. It can read a computer screen, it can type on a computer screen, it can operate any computer application just like we can. In fact, today, there is no way to tell a difference whether the computer is being operated by RPA technology or a human. And the embedded analytics that comes with these digital workers, it instantly improves itself propelled by its own performance data. So these 3 waves together, think, do, and analyze, coming together creates the new digital workforce. No coffee. Each of them by themselves are large enough. But imagine 3 waves coinciding on top of each other. That is creating a tsunami wave. First time in the modern history, we have a true augmented workforce that can work side by side us. Let's look at the math when businesses operate with it. Typically, it would take 5,000 people, 75 million in capex, and you produce 10 million transactions. With a digital workforce, it takes only 500 people, 2,000 digital workforce, 15 million OPEX, not CAPEX, and you produce 5 times more. This is not 10, 20% improvement. This is 5 times the output at 1/5 the cost. This is a game changer. The old model is Barnes & Noble, the new is Amazon. The old is Blockbuster, new is Netflix. This is huge. And this is coming to every single business. Imagine 5 banks operate with this new digital operating model. What do other 195 banks do? 3 retailers, 4 healthcare companies, 4 oil and gas. I can go on. The competitive pressure will make sure that everyone must follow the new digital operating model at scale. These bots are completely software component. You don't see them. They work 24/7, 365 days a week. And at a click of a button, you can call them, 5,000, 10,000 of them. When work is done, you fold them back. It is equally easy to run this digital workforce anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to happen in the United States. It could happen in China, India, Philippines, UK. It could happen anywhere. And the global nature of businesses today will dictate that once it happens somewhere, it will happen everywhere. You still probably are thinking digital workforce, there is certain things machine do, and then there are certain things people do. Think again. There are certain jobs we inherently think are human jobs. For example, composing a music. Fair enough? Here is a music composed by a digital worker. It was played by London Symphony, and there are many more out there. Music composed by a digital worker played by humans. Tons of documents, articles, contracts, data sheets, earning announcements, they are already being written by digital workforce, so many of them today, and it is increasing every day. How long do we have before all of our businesses must reimagine this and transform to it? We don't know for sure. But recently I met with Fortune 50 leaders in 3 continents, and I asked them that. Say, how long before you think your business will not exist if you do not move to new digital operating model? On average, the answer was anywhere from 4 to 7 years. The Fortune 50 companies said that if I do not move to this model, I will not exist. I think 5 years is a decent countdown for all of us to begin to think differently. The industrial revolution, this feels like a next industrial revolution. The previous one took about 100 years, over 100 years to happen globally. This will happen globally in 5 years. And I'm here to tell you that it has already started with 500 largest world's leaders already across the globe. I have a view on this, my bias. I don't want to be blind to the personal, the economic and the social ramification that this will bring. I'm aware of it. But I believe in embracing this technology, not because I'm in technology business, but I think it makes the world a better place. Almost anything that I see around us wouldn't exist without an industrial revolution. We would still be in fields and farms just making sure we have enough to eat. The reason why my wife is alive and didn't die in my first childbirth, the reason why my mother is alive, heck, the reason why I am alive and talking to you and dreaming of next 30 years, cross fingers. This is all because the industrial revolution happened. And it is not just about health and wealth. The way we consume, the way I can consume global art, philosophies, culture, paintings, and wine. It's all because of the industrial revolution. So I am all for embracing these technologies. You might think differently, and that's fair. Issue of this importance, it is better to start with more doubts that leads to certainty than the other way. We must reimagine our business as the modern workforce as a combination of two. Human beings working side by side with this digital workforce bots. Sounds science fiction-y, not really. You look at any construction site and man and machines work together seamlessly. How is this different? Just a different time. Think in all of your businesses, what part is best done by human beings? Complex design thinking, hard jobs. And begin to offload things that a digital bots can do much better, much faster, and error-free. And it will free up a tremendous human capital and energy to do a lot more interesting things. Digital anything does not change the world. People do. I think it is this amazing capability we as people have to look at a challenge coming, understand it, negotiate and navigate a future that is best for us, our companies, our employees, and societies. It is that capability we have where we convert a challenge into an opportunity. I think that is what is required. We have harnessed historically from wild horses to steam energy to nuclear energy. We need to harness this new technology. For me, leadership is about forming a point of view with balanced skepticism, validating it if you can, and leading our teams through that future, not reacting to it once it has arrived. It is time for us to lead our organizations through this disruption. Thank you.